I just wanted to show y'all this car real quick. This junk got no windows. Where is it from? Cali. No windows at all. So that means that somebody drove this all the way here from California. I don't think this car was here yesterday. How you drive a car without no windshield? You just have the wind just flapping in your face, slapping you in the face as you drive. Nah, you can't do that. How'd that car get there? It was not there yesterday. I promise, I was out yesterday. Cause I like being outside. I don't got no car though. Got rid of my car. So I'm gonna take y'all on a walk with me. I'm walking back home. I don't really like showing my location because I don't want people recognizing where I am and where I live. But I'll go ahead and take y'all on a walk with me so y'all can see. Not my surroundings, but just enjoy the walk. Enjoy being quarantined. If I don't like saying that because I'm such an independent person that loves being free. A sovereign person, not a sovereign citizen. They try to put that word on me. You a sovereign citizen? No, I'm not a sovereign citizen, dummy. Do you even know what you're saying by saying that? Sounds stupid. Hopefully y'all can hear me. But I guess I know I was all over the place in the last video, but I'll save more details on that for later if I feel like talking about it. I mean, I am going to talk about it. It's just going to come out of me. But I'll go ahead and talk about my relationship with Cam B. Because I've been thinking about it for a long time, whether I should make a video about it. Because it really does bother me. It really bothers me how things went with me and Cam B and Fearless. And Conscious daughter, she's real. I know she's real. So that's why I don't talk about her. But basically, if y'all know the story, all right, I'm going to tell y'all the story right now. Story time. If y'all like story time, hit me up so we can have story time sometime. I like to talk about things, especially when it talks about, when you're talking about things on a deep level. And I also like to talk about weird things like aliens and space and things like that. I'm not saying that space is real, but, just the idea of it and going to different dimensions and things like that. Because, there are other worlds. Just because space is fake doesn't mean that our universe is fake. Our universe is very real. I'm just showing the floor right now. I'm sorry. Anyways, me and Cam B. So it started off with me finding out about this channel called Infinite Plane Society. All right. So how did I find out about that channel, Infinite Plane Society? I found out about that channel from Vegan Warrior. How did I find out about Vegan Warrior? I found out about Vegan Warrior from D Marble. How did I find out about D Marble? I found out about D Marble from looking at Flat Earth. And how did I find out about Flat Earth? I found out about Flat Earth from Matt Powerland. How did I find out about him? I found that out because of YouTube. So thank God for YouTube for waking me the fuck up. I am so grateful. People act like YouTube is such a bad place, like it's full of conspiracies, theories, and stuff. That stuff is not bad. If you like looking at the truth, you better be looking at conspiracy theory videos, because that's where the truth is. That's really like the only way on YouTube you're gonna find truth. Other than, going religious way. But you gotta tie in the religious end with the truth. But not to get off track, I digress. So I found out about IPS, Infinite Plane Society, led by Tim Osman. He spells it with a Z to differentiate himself from another Tim Osman that's online. And I really liked his videos. And then I saw Cam B on there. He calls in a lot onto IPS. Not a lot, but you know, enough for me to recognize that this dude, you know, is a regular. And he always talked about people being masked. And then IPS started talking about it too. So I started to see the truth in that. So I was like, okay, I want to learn more about it. So I learned about Cam B, started watching his video. Little do I know, Cam B only started his junk a few months earlier than when I started watching. So I was like, oh, this is new. I thought the whole topic was new. I thought it was a new topic. It was a new topic for me, so I thought the whole topic was new. So I'm looking at Cam B like, bro, this joke is amazing. Like you know, you putting things together. You coming out with some truth right now. Like, you know, there's some things that's really making sense that you can't really deny. Like, yeah, these people are looking the same. Like, yeah, these people do have the same whatever. I mean, he wasn't going into detail, but I was finding out things because, you know, what I've learned from the internet is that once you learn something, or once you hear something from somebody, you never take it as truth just from hearing it. Don't ever be like, I believe you just because somebody says something. You be like, I hear what you're saying. So I'm gonna keep that in mind. I'm gonna let you, you know, if that's what you believe, if that's what you think is real, okay, it might be real. But I won't know it's real until I look at it myself. So that's the point that I was at. And I was like, let me go look at this myself. Because I hear what this dude is saying. I see what he's trying to point out. But let me go look at it myself. Let me go get 2 pictures myself. Let me look at these things myself. Let me connect the dots myself. And I've been researching for a few years anyway. So I know certain things about how this reality works a little bit. And I know there's, you know, and I know the main thing about when you're learning things, guys, is that you have to know that you don't know everything. And that allows you to learn so much when you keep that in mind, that you don't know everything. So that means that there's things that's going to be out there that you don't even know is real. You didn't even know it was possible. Like, you didn't even know, like, you're going to learn about things that you didn't even know could be possible. But it is possible. Okay, and Cam B helped me out a lot, so I'm very grateful for him. But at the same time, I recognize truth when I see it. Okay, like, I recognize consistency when I'm looking at people, and when I'm interacting with people. I look for consistency, and Cam B wasn't showing me consistency, but he was a very good actor, though, and I mean that word literally, not. I mean, like, you know, in the sense that we know it as an actor who acts and plays different characters. He was doing a good job and was very believable. Had me going for a while. So I didn't want to interact with Cam B. I didn't want to interact with IPS. I'm used to being an observer. That's just part of my personality type. The way I walk around this world and stuff like that is that I do a lot of observing. I am a person that engages and, you know, takes action on things, initiates things. But at the same time, the way that I learn is to observe. I watch. So when I would be in class and in school, I'll be sitting and watching more than participating, because that's how I got most of my information. I read body language very well. I take in information very well. And, you know, since I think a lot, I play with ideas in my mind. I know how to connect things. So a lot of times I didn't have to take notes in class, just to say that, just to give you an idea. Everything was in my head. Most things are in my head, not everything, but most things are in my head. Almost had photographic memory at some point. But I didn't have it. Actually, the valedictorian, I'm sidetracking right now, but the valedictorian on my high school, she had photographic memory. And she knew it too. She told everybody. That's how I get all my good grades. Like, everything's in my, she's like, I have pictures in my head. So like, if I need to know the answer, I'm flipping pages in my textbook. And I'm like, dang, like, how does somebody do that? But yeah, she was valedictorian by a long shot. But anyways, so, I made a song for IPS, right? Because he inspired me with his phrase auto hoax. I never heard that phrase before until I heard him. I heard auto hoax about 3 times. After the 3rd time, I listened to some music. I like to listen to beats when I listen to music because I make beats. And, and since I make beats, I have a passion for it. So I like to hear other people make beats. And I heard a beat that was fire. And as soon as I heard it, I heard a hook with auto hoax in it. And I was like, I just heard this word. I just learned about this word, and I'm already hearing a song using the word auto hoax. All right, so I wanted to see where it goes. So I stuck with it. Okay, auto hoax. What is auto hoax? I didn't know that much about auto hoax. So I had to listen more to Tim Osmond and IPS and learn more about what is auto hoaxing. I even looked at I even bought his auto hoax handbook and, was learning more about it. So I was like, okay. So this song is going to be about auto hoax. So I made the song Auto Hoax, made it for him. He really likes it. I'm pretty sure it really helps him in his movement. And basically from that's how I got interacted with IPS and learned more about Cam B. And then I transferred my energy to Cam B, started watching more Cam B. And because I feel like I did my work basically with IPS when I did that. Like, I listened to him a little bit more, but I was like, there's not really much more I can learn from this guy. So that's how I felt. So went to Cam B to learn some more stuff that IPS wasn't talking about. And then Cam B saw me in the comments, and I noticed that Fearless TV was kind of mirroring what Cam B was doing. So I saw them as 2 separate channels. And I was like, okay, I'm trying to get on this topic, so I want to subscribe to more people that are doing this. But I couldn't find more people that were doing it. I found the Brotherhood that was doing it. And the Brotherhood, I don't know about him. He could be real, he could be fake, I don't know. But he seems to be a little emotional. He was responding to my comments at one point. He don't respond no more. So it is what it is. But Cam B, he tried to take me under his wing. He saw me in the comments and he was like, this is a guy that I could use. And let me make emphasis on that. He is a guy that I could use. I saw that at the beginning. I don't like interacting with people on YouTube in the first place because I know what YouTube is. I'm not saying I know what people is, but I know what YouTube is and I know what it's used for. So I am very skeptical when I'm interacting with people on YouTube. So when Cam hit me up, and it's not like how I interacted with IPS because I made a song for IPS. So IPS had a reason for interacting with me, but he still wouldn't hit me up. I hit him up on his phone number. He wouldn't hit me back. IPS, he didn't want to talk to me. He just wanted to talk to me about music. He just wanted to know when I was going to drop the next song about auto hoax. But with Cam B, he seemed a little bit more personal. He wanted to actually get to know me, or it seemed like it. And, he actually wanted to use my intellect. That's what it seemed like. And I was like, okay, this is cool. This is different. I never experienced this before. Somebody actually trying to interact with me. Even when I did my own music, people didn't want to interact with me doing my own music, because that's just how it is. So with Cam B, I was like, cool, I'm gonna do it. I didn't really want to do it because I don't like putting myself out there like that too much. I'm not the type of person that likes the spotlight. There is things I want to talk about and ideas I want to share, but I'm the type of person, I'm a Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. Saturn has like the longest of all the planets that are, within our solar system. I'm not talking about Neptune and stuff like that, but it has a very long revolution, all right? It takes a long time for it to make a revolution. So in that sense, energetically speaking, since my sun is in Saturn, the Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, I move a little slow. So I like to have this isn't the case for all Capricorns, but I like to have my ideas and things like that fully, not to say that I want to master them, but I like to have a good sense of what I'm talking about before I start putting myself out there. So I have a feeling that I'm not going to really start putting myself out there until I'm about like 40 or whatever. Right now I'm about 27. I know y'all think I'm young, but I'm about 27 right now. I'm not saying I'm old, but I'm older than what I look. Hopefully I'm older than what I sound. So Canby hits me up and I go with it. I'm like, in my head, I'm still skeptical. I'm like, I may be interacting with somebody I shouldn't be interacting with, but I'm gonna play along because I like learning by action. I like learning by actually applying things and going through things. So I went with it, interacted with him, put me in a group chat with Fearless TV, Conscious Daughter, Cam B, and myself. And I noticed, I'm noticing now, but I started to notice the influence that I have in the group. Cambly even asked me to do a video, and I felt like I was a little early to be asking me to do a video, but I'm like, okay, this guy really has, he really knows what he wants, he really knows what he's trying to do, but he's not trying to do it all himself. So I was following that. I was following the leadership of Cam B, and he tried to act like, funny thing about Cam B is that he tried to play like he's not who he is, but he knows who he is, and he has a very specific agenda. And so he was trying to get me to do videos and stuff like that, and I had the capabilities to do it, but I was acting like I didn't have it, but I went ahead and did it anyways. And like y'all saw from the video, that round table talk, I could tell that Cam B, he liked what he saw in me. He wanted to use me for doing more videos like that, and he knew that it could get better if I kept doing it, because that's how I am. I'm a hard worker, and when I do things, I try to do it well. You can also tell from my music and my music videos. Not to plug me, but you can look me up on music, Milky Smooth. Look me up on Milky Smooth if you want to get a sense. I'm not saying that those are quality, but I do what I can with what I got. And I'm not saying that I can't do better, but I can. Anyways, interacting with Cam B, doing all stuff, and then he would hit me up from time to time. I wouldn't really hit Cam B up because I didn't have anything to talk about. I'm that type of person. I don't really like hitting people up just to talk. I need something to talk about from a call. Cam B will hit me up being like, hey man, you heard about this, you heard about that. Do you know about this? Do you know about that? He even put me on to Hans Warm Hat. If y'all don't know about Hans Warm Hat, it's HANS Warm Hat, like a worm that's in the ground and a hat that's on your head. Hans Warm Hat. Look him up. That dude, I don't think he's an agent at all. He's talking about God. He's talking about spirituality. So one thing I know is that Cam B does not do. He does not talk about spirituality. He does not talk about God. He does not connect the truth back to where it comes from. And that's a red flag for me whenever I see somebody that claims to be talking about truth, but they're not connecting it back to the source. They're not connecting it back to the divine creation from which it comes. They're not talking about truth. They're only trying to manipulate you. So that's a red flag for me when I notice that about Cam B. And then I feel like it's a long story. But anyways, the thing is that, all right, so I'll just jump to the main point that really set me off to not talk to Cam B. So I'm like, this dude is on something else. He's probably gonna get me in some really big trouble. because I don't know what type of connections he got. I don't know really why he's making these YouTube videos, and I don't know why he won't talk about anything else. So what I did is that I'll say I challenge him a little bit, okay? I challenge him. I don't like to do that with people because I like people to just be themselves. And, you know, if somebody has a belief and they have a truth about themselves, I let them have it. You know, I keep my thoughts to myself most of the time. I don't force it onto other people. I don't challenge other people a lot of times because I feel like, you know, it's always a losing battle if you challenge somebody. I'm gonna go this way. If you challenge somebody on their beliefs and what they think to be real, because it's their world. My world is my world. Their world is their world. You know, we all live under one universe, but at the same time, we all have our own truths. So I was trying to do the same thing with Cam B and Fearless. I know I don't talk about Fearless a lot, but that's because, you know, he tried to call me out one time, said I was asleep in his comments, and I went off on him, cursing him out, being like, bro, how you gonna be a truther and then calling me sleep? I'm the one who's looking at your videos. I'm one of the people that's actually trying to support you. You gonna call me sleep? So I went off on him for that. Like, bro, that's like, you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to help. I'm trying to learn myself, if anything. So that's the thing you guys got to look at. Like, when you're looking at truthers, and that's the main thing I want to say throughout this whole video. I know it took me a long time to get there. But it's like, when you're looking at truthers and you're watching videos about people, you got to keep God in mind. You got to look at the underlying tone, the underlying energy of which they are coming from. Don't just look at the surface level, because that's how they manipulate you, and that's how they get you. That's how they actually, you know, that's how they get you. If they have an agenda that's actually different than what they're putting out. So you got to look at what's actually going on from their intentions, from their emotions. And Fearless TV, he does not, I have to say, he doesn't have pure intentions, all right? These people are really good actors. Cam B, he doesn't have the purest intentions. One thing I like to point out is how Cam B doesn't show his face, all right? First and foremost, like, I can show my face right now. You see me? You see me? I know it's dark, but look, you know, I had no problem showing my face. Cam B doesn't show his face. Fearless doesn't show his face. You know, they show it very little, if at all. I don't even know how Cam B looks till this day, but he claims to be my boy. He claims to have my back. And that's what really pisses me off about Cam B. He says things like that, but he knows that he doesn't mean it. He knows he doesn't mean it. Nigga, I mean, that's what he likes to call himself, but he's all the way in California. How you gonna have my back? If something's going down, you can't come to me. I can't come to you. If your daughter is in trouble, I can't come to you. You don't have my back. I don't have your back. Don't even talk like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be real. I'm not an emotional person. I'm not trying to talk on emotional levels. Like, I try to stay realistic as possible. Like, bro, you're not my friend. You're just somebody I know on YouTube that we have common interests in. So I'm helping you out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to help myself out at the same time. But let's not get it twisted. Like, I'm not there for you. All right. If somebody is going to talk bad about you, I'm going to look at that video because I want to know what they got to say, because I want to know if I'm interacting with the agent or not. I want to know if I'm interacting with somebody that's in the disguise or not. I want to know if I'm interacting with somebody who is serving Satan. All right. Because if they see things that I don't see, I want to know what they see. So if somebody's talking bad about Cam B, I'm going to go look at that. That's another red flag that y'all got to look at. If people tell you, now that's not what Cam B did. He actually encouraged me to go look at his videos. But if people tell you to not look at the videos that are talking bad about them, that means go look at them. They mean the exact opposite. Go look at those videos and you discern for yourself if it's true or not. You know, you don't, what's it called? Not disguise, but limit yourself from information just because you like somebody. All right. You want to look at all perspectives, because think about Jesus. Think about Yahshua. People talked bad about him all the time. You think the disciples was like, I'm not going to listen to him? No. They heard him, but they knew the truth. So it's like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I know the truth. I know who this guy really is. So you can't really say nothing to me. And that's how it should be all the time. And that's how it is with the truth. When you know the truth, it doesn't matter what you hear. It's like, I know the truth. You can say whatever you want. I know the truth. That's why God could resist the devil so well. Because Jesus was the truth. And I notice I make that mistake saying God when I'm talking about Jesus, but there's a reason for that. And I've been dealing with that for years. I'm like, dang, like Jesus isn't God, but there's a truth to that. There's a reason why I do that. There's a reason why other people do that too. Jesus is God. You don't do that with any other prophets. And God was a prophet. Jesus was a prophet. Just like how any other prophet was a prophet, but Jesus was more than that as well. Jesus was also a Pharisee, but he was more than that as well. Jesus was also a carpenter, but he was more than that as well. Jesus was also a physician, but he was more than that as well. Jesus was a savior, but he was more than that as well. Do you get the picture about who Jesus was? All right. So when you talk about a prophet, Jesus is going to be included. When you talk about anybody else, Jesus is going to be included. When you talk about yourself, Jesus is going to be included. All right, but I'm not going to talk about that right now because I know that pushes a lot of people away. But anyways, I'm just about done walking and stuff. I'm about to head where I'm trying to go. So the thing about Canby that really, really bothered me, that pushed me over the edge, it pushed me over the line, and it caused me to question myself, to say, what am I doing? What am I doing interacting with this person? They got me feeling this type of way. You got to listen to your emotions. You got to listen to your intuition. Listen to your intuition. Listen to your gut feelings, guys. When you feel something is troubling you and you're feeling all these weird emotions, especially when you're interacting with somebody and they're trying to come off as good, listen to yourself. Don't listen to the other person. Do not listen to the other person, okay? It's the same thing like when you're in a gang. People get these same feelings when they're in a gang. And they have to be like, they have to get beat up by the people that's in their gang. And they have to go do things that's not good, but they got to do it for their brothers, right? It's the same feelings. You listen to yourself. Don't listen to the people that's outside of you, all right? And what happened to me is that I was talking, IPS was on one night. Can be, nightly thing going on. Can be, he's in a group chat. And he's like, hey, Milky, you should go be on the group chat. I'm going to be on there tonight. All right, so he has plans on being on there tonight like he usually does. All right, and now he's trying to include me in it because he sees me more of an asset, I guess. So I'm like, first of all, I found that kind of weird because he's trying to direct me, but at the same time, he acts like he's not a leader. But he's trying to direct me and trying to give me orders and try to influence me to do things. At a humble level, I take that encouragement and I'm like, okay, I'll go ahead and do it because maybe I'm seeing something. He sees something in me that I don't see. So I'm gonna go ahead and be on the, call in. And IPS, he thinks that I wasn't calling to the show. I was calling into his show a lot. He actually didn't realize it though. Because the way he doesn't really ask people who they are. Let's ask him, basically, my main thing was that to see if he was a Mason, how long has he been a Mason, and, ask him all the gritty questions like, why you keeping secrets from us if you're a Mason? How long did it take you to be a Mason? Oh, for real? Like, what does it mean to be a Mason? And then My main thing is to be like, yo, I don't fuck with Freemasons. I'm a Mason myself by inheritance because I know what it means to be a Mason. But I'm not a Freemason, meaning that I'm not going through the lodge. I'm not going through the process. I'm not getting initiated. I'm not saying the initiated words, which is I never want to be one. And that's when I got cut off on his show. So he muted me. IPS muted me. I acted like he didn't mute me because I tuned back into the show after the call, after he acted like the call dropped and it was still going. That's how I know he muted me, because the call was still going when everything went silent. When I said I never want to be one, it cut off right there. And I tuned back into the show. He was acting like he lost me, like he couldn't hear me. He could hear me. I don't know. I mean, he probably couldn't because he muted me. But the call was still going. That's the point. And he acted like it dropped, and it didn't drop. I hung up, and I was like, bruh, this is some BS. This dude acted like he likes me just because I made some song for him. But at the same time, he's going to mute me when I'm saying things that he don't like. That's how strong the brotherhood is. So I'm mad about that. I go back into the group chat with Cam B and Fearless TV and Conscious Daughter, and I'm venting. And I'm going, bruh, IPS muted me, and they know that I have an association with IPS. And he's like, yo, that's crazy. What happened? So I call Cam B, I'm trying to tell him what happened. And then, in the midst of all that, he's trying to tell me about things like what's going on and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, man, I hear that, but I'm in my emotions. So I'm trying to express myself, So I start venting to him, not in a selfish way, but I am kind of being selfish because I want to vent. But he says he's my friend, so I feel like I can do that. So since I feel like I can do that, I'm venting. I'm saying all these things to him, and I'm going off, and I'm like, bro, I don't know what's going on. It's like, and I'm talking about life. I'm talking on a deeper level, stuff. And I noticed that Cam B, he's getting disinterested in the conversation because he doesn't want to hear all that. You know what I'm saying? I know, because when I go deep, I get the same reaction from most people. They tune out. They don't want to listen no more. So that's what I got from him. He tunes out. He doesn't want to listen no more. He's like, yo, I got other things to do. And I'm like, I realize that. I'm going to let you go in a second. I didn't say that, but I'm like, I'm going to let you go in a second. I just want to say these things. I didn't say that, but I kept going. And I keep talking, and I know he wants to go. So I hear him get up, and I hear him all over the phone. I hear that he's doing things now. He's shuffling around, doing things, messing with things. He's not listening. He's not in the conversation like he was before. But I keep talking because I don't care. Because I'm like, bro, I don't know what's going on, bro. If I'm going to interact with this stuff, I need to know who's real and who's not. I don't like being lied to. I don't like being faked. And then guess what can be? Call drops. Call hangs up. But it didn't drop because to make sure that it didn't drop, what I did is that I called him back, like any friend would do, like Cam B didn't do. I called him back, which he has done in the past when calls do drop. And when they do drop, he calls back, because a call did drop when I was on the phone with Cam B before, and he called back. He didn't call back. I was waiting for him to call back. So I was like, okay, let me call back. I called back. Phone doesn't answer after the first ring. I'm like, dang, did the call really drop? I'll call him back again. It doesn't answer. And then I go back into the group chat. Guess what? I see Cam B texting into the group chat about things other than what I was just talking about. So now his mind is on other things, and I see he's on his phone. He's on his iPhone. All right? He loves his iPhone. He's on his iPhone. And I'm like, bruh, you just had a call that dropped with me. It wasn't finished. Why ain't you calling me back? Why aren't you trying to finish the conversation? I was in an emotional state. All right. So he doesn't call me back. I'm like, bro, what is going on? So I call him again while he's texting. I see that he's posting messages in the group chat. I call him back. He hangs up instantly. That means that the phone was in his hand. All right. And he hung up as soon as he saw my name pop up on his phone. Nigga, you gonna act like you my friend? You gonna act like you got my back? All right. So in my mind, I'm like, this dude doesn't care anything about me. He's just trying to use me the same way that IPS is trying to use me. All right. He just wants me for what he can get me for. And then other than that, he doesn't care. He doesn't want to talk. All right. Yeah, it's cool if I participate in the group chat because that's what it's for. But he don't want to talk to me. He don't want to hear what I got to say. So I block his number. I block his ass. I'm like, I ain't going to stand up for that, bro. Like, I wouldn't stand up for that from my closest friends, bro. Like, you blocked. I don't want that in my life at all. All right. So I let a day or two pass because I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, bruh, the internet is crazy. You know, you go on YouTube, you think you're looking for truth just because people got low views. You think that they truthful. You think that the system is not part of them just because they got 200 views, just because they got 500 views on their channel and they got like 1,000 subscribers. The pages are going to delete it all the time. You think they're not part of the system. But I'm like, dude, is it that deep where they know to do that? Of course they know how to do that, you know? That's simple logic. You know, they already know that we think like that. So it's very possible. Now, I'm not going to say that I know the absolute truth, but I just know what happened to me. And I know what I was feeling. Can B was not being truthful with me. So I call him back probably like on the second day after that happened. I didn't say sorry to him. I didn't say anything. But I call him back just to, I'm like, I want to make sure. I want to know if I'm making a mistake or not, because he does a very good job of coming off very authentic and seeming like he's a good guy. I'm a good guy. I got a daughter. You know, people coming after me calling me a pedophile. You know, like he does a really good job at that stuff. All right. I give him that. So while I'm saying that, he still could be a real person just like you and me. But my interactions with him tell me different. So I cannot let that go. I cannot let that go. Ever. I cannot let that go. So, you know, it raises red flags, and I just got too many red flags. So I call him back and I try to talk, and I got more red flags as I'm trying to talk to him, trying to reconcile things about him, trying to get more information about him. And when I call him back, he doesn't want to talk about how he hung up on me. Now, he knows that he hung up on me. All right. And he knows what he did was wrong. He don't want to talk about it. He wants to talk about clones. So when he started talking about clones, y'all, that was around the time that I stopped talking to him. And that's why he started talking more about clones. All right. So, because he knew that I gave credence to that. I'm not going to say that, you know, I'm a fanatic about cloning, but I know that it's a thing that they can do. They can clone people. They can clone people. They can clone plants. They can clone animals. They can clone anything, right? So I don't know how deep these mad scientists go into things, but I'm pretty sure they know how to transfer consciousness too, because they have movies about it. If they have movies about it, it's because they're working on it and they probably have done it already. And they probably have it already. They probably doing it already. Like even Kevin Hart had an interview about it. Like he said that he has clones and he was very serious about it, but he acted like it was a joke, but